Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. April 27th, 2018.
Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, author of Liberalism is a Mental Disorder, Trump's War, and God, Faith, and Reason, Michael Savage.
It's the Savage Nation. Lou Pate sitting in for Dr. Savage. He will be back on Monday, and he'll continue to tell you about his sojourn to Washington, D.C., sitting there at the luncheon for Macron, meeting with President Trump in the Oval Office, and presenting him with his book. So much to talk about. There's even more evolving as we speak. So even when Dr. Savage is not here, even when he is not on the air, he's making news. The media is now reacting to Dr. Savage's endorsement of Kevin McCarthy for the Speaker of the House to take over for Paul Ryan, who is leaving. So even when he's not here, he's making news, and he'll bring it all to you comes Monday. 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-SAVAGE if you want to get in on the conversation. Team Savage is here, Jim is here, Ron is here, and we invite you into the fray. I'll tell you, it's an historic day in the world, okay? And a lot of people throw that around, but today history was truly made. We have Kim Jong-un shaking hands with Moon Jae-in from South Korea. How many of you even know that we are still in the Korean War or the Korean conflict or the police action, whatever it was called back in the day? It has never ended. And today we have taken a monumental step forward in ending the Korean War, but more so bringing peace and bringing safety to the Korean Peninsula and hence the world. I don't know if people realize how huge this is. It's Friday. Spring has sprung around the country. People are starting to look towards the door. And, maybe you're not watching TV. Maybe you're at work. You've got your deal going on. Maybe you're mowing your lawn. All I know is that whatever it is you're doing, that now you're listening to the Savage Nation, history happened today. And it is all because of President Trump. The mainstream media in the United States and probably around the world will not give him the credit for that. But it is because of President Trump that this historic handshake heard around the world happened today. Kim Jong-un, just a year ago, was threatening to bomb Guam. We had the governor of Guam appearing on various cable TV networks talking about preparing in case he should get bombed. Kim Jong-un threatened Alaska. He was firing rockets into the Sea of Japan. He was firing rockets over the mountains of Japan. He was defying China. He was defying Russia. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. That's where he got the nickname. It was during this time period where Trump mocked him on the floor of the UN, called him Little Rocket Man. But now everything changes. Now a big step forward. President Trump, Kim Jong-un will be getting together. An undisclosed date, undisclosed time, but the date will be shown to us soon. And now there's something to talk about. But I have to digress first. A few months ago, when it first came out that President Trump was willing to meet with Kim Jong-un, I have to admit, I thought it was a bad idea. I did not think that Kim Jong-un had earned the right to meet with the American president. I didn't. I thought obviously he's a murderous dictator, inherited the position from his father, killing relatives, killing people who disagreed with him, jumping around the international map like a petulant child. And he did not earn it. For those of you who are dog people, I'm a dog person. When you're teaching a dog and they do things, you give them a treat. It's called positive reinforcement. You've heard that. Well, I'm sorry, Kim Jong-un did not earn his treat. It's as simple as that. And the big treat here is a steak meeting with the President of the United States, regardless of who it is. In this case, it's Donald Trump. But I do feel that if it was any of the other Republican candidates, Kasich, Rubio, Bush, Christie, on down the line, Rand Paul and the rest, or if Hillary Clinton had won, we would not be having this conversation today. We would not be talking about a handshake in the DMZ zone with Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in. We would not be talking about an upcoming meeting, possibly within the next month or so, with President Trump and the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. It would not be happening. And I tell you what, I don't trust Kim Jong-il, and I'd like to know from you, the listeners to the Savage Nation, do you trust Kim Jong-un when he says, consider getting rid of his nukes? Excuse me. I don't. Okay, I don't think he earned the meeting with the president, but now I'm in favor of them getting together. But I have my suspicions. I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'll tell you why. It was with big fanfare about a week or so ago, President Trump, and it was correct at the time, said Kim Jong-un said he would stop testing his missiles, and he did. And that is something you should brag about. In honor of the upcoming meeting, he's not going to test his missiles anymore. Well, we find out now the reason he stopped testing his missiles. Reports, intel are telling us that there was an accident and the whole place blew up where they were testing the missiles. They can't test the missiles. They're physically incapable of testing their missiles. So this is a lie. So they still were testing their missiles. And there was an accident. And the only reason they stopped is because they can't do it anymore, at least for the time being. So why did he lie about that? So this goes to show you that his pattern of lying, it remains. But Donald Trump has been talking tough. He talked tough to Iran. They got the message so much that Khomeini, the leader of Iran, was, out there telling the Muslim world to reject Trump, reject America, reject Christianity. He obviously was feeling that. But we now have to look at the fact that this meeting is taking place, and it's a great thing for the region. It's a great thing for the world. Imagine, and I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm really not, but I would guess that outside of the Savage Nation, I would bet that the overwhelming majority of Americans are not even aware that we are technically still at war with North Korea, and many Americans gave their lives. My father served in the Korean War. It wasn't like there was a big thing on the Missouri, surrender on the Missouri, like to end World War II with the Japanese. It wasn't like when, Berlin was bombed and Hitler's bunker was destroyed and they all committed suicide or allegedly committed suicide. We know Goebbels did, killed his whole family too. The Korean War just kind of ended or kind of stopped because technically it's still going on. And then we entered into that period of nothing happening on the Korean Peninsula until around the 1990s when Bill Clinton comes into town. And Bill Clinton, being naive, gave Kim Jong-il, the father of Kim Jong-un, a bad deal. Kim Jong-il gave Clinton a bad deal, just like the Iranians gave Obama a bad deal. The deal went something to the effect of, yes, give us all of the capability and the know-how of how to build nuclear weapons, but we won't build them. That's a very loose translation. What it comes down to is Bill Clinton, along with the blessing of Jimmy Carter, have given nuclear capability to the North Koreans. That's it in a nutshell. And now, in 2018, we are dealing with it. But previous administrations have been dealing with it too, and they haven't done anything with it. Okay, they've kind of just been passing it along to future presidents, passing it along to future generations. Well, with passing that along, you're passing along the danger. Okay, and now you have Kim Jong-un. He's been in there for quite a few years now. His father died. He took over, and I truly think, and I've said this before while here on the Savage Nation, that he wants to be taken serious. He's been educated here in the United States. He knows Western culture. Let's face it. He loves Western culture. Who doesn't love movies and pizza? Come on. Everybody loves this stuff. And I think in his quest to be taken serious, he'll give up anything. And I say this joking, but I mean it. It might sound foolish, but I mean it. This guy loves Western culture so much that if you put him on Dancing with the Stars, he'd be happy. If you invited him to the Golden Globes and sat him up front, and to the Oscars, which probably Hollywood would welcome him, a devilish, murderous dictator, they'd love him. He's right up their alley. They give him an Oscar, Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah, but all kidding aside, he would love this stuff. But he has to settle on just, meeting with Donald Trump and going to the G21 summit and getting a chair at the big table. I always use the Thanksgiving analogy, the kids' table, the adult table. You have Merkel at the White House right now as I speak. You had Macron there all week. A big international week of success for the president. Angela Merkel and Trump, she doesn't like him, but she's there, and she's playing nice, and they had a very good photo op before, question and answer, and they sit down. The press conference seems to have gone very well. He's handling these international leaders who disagree with him on everything. Macron would like the Iranian deal to stay, and he handles them well. They like him, okay? Merkel, she'll have to like him, but it's amazing what we see him doing with these people, the art of the deal, if you will. Now he's going to have to turn that charm offensive on to Kim Jong-un when they meet. But here's the deal. He's got leverage over Kim Jong-un. Okay? Kim Jong-un wants the sanctions to go away. He needs the sanctions to go away. Yes, he can get supplies from Russia. He can get supplies from China. We know he's gotten supplies from China. But he needs those sanctions to go away. And what Trump is going to tell him to do is stop with the nukes. Give up your nuclear arsenal. Will he do that? Well, I don't know. That remains to be seen. I think he's going to give numerous concessions. But I don't think he's going to give them up totally. Will it be enough? Just to maybe disable them? But do we trust them? And that's my question to you, the listeners to the Savage Nation. Do you trust Kim Jong-il? I do not trust him as far as I could throw him, but I have to say my opinion has changed. Can North Korea be a trusted negotiating partner? Or is Trump going to get played? Will Trump get the credit if there is a denuclearized Korean peninsula? No. What's his name? Senator Lindsey Graham has said today that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. A lot of people are going to disagree with that. I think he should get the credit. Will he get the credit? Not on CNN, not on MSNBC, not on ABC and CBS. No, he's not going to get it there. But where it matters in the eyes of the world, where it matters in the eyes of the American people, does it matter? Yes. This is huge. I don't think people understand the gravity of what happened today. We're so busy looking at Kanye West and Bill Cosby. We're so obsessed with pop culture. Not to mention the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, baseball season has begun. There's all of these distractions, plus life in general. People, number one, don't know we're still at war with North Korea. And number two, as Americans, this is a fault of ours. We don't really care about international news unless it directly affects us. So when Trump meets with everybody will know about it. But when Kim Jong-un shakes hands in a historic meeting for the first time ever with a South Korean leader, in this case, Moon Jae-in, Americans keep looking at their phones and their tablets and their Instagram posts and taking pictures of their burritos. That's what we're doing. But I don't think people truly understand. So my question to you is, do you trust Kim Jong-un? I don't. Can North Korea in general be a trusted negotiating partner? Long answer, no. Short answer, no. And will Trump get played? Trump made a statement earlier today that previous presidents have all been played by the Kim family, grandfather and father before Kim Jong-un. And if Trump pulls this off, will he get credit? If he gives up his nukes, Kim Jong-un, will Trump get credit? 855-400-SAVAGE. Lou Pate here with you in on the Savage Nation. And remember, Dr. Savage will be back on Monday. But in the meantime, click on michaelsavage.com. You get to see the pics and the stories of his D.C. trip and see all of the latest headlines. You are listening to The Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com.
Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel.
I want to express my hope that all of the people of Korea, North Korea and South, can someday live in harmony, prosperity, and peace. And it looks like it could happen.
Welcome back to the Savage Nation. Lou Pate filling in for Dr. Savage. He will be back on Monday. In the meantime, check out michaelsavage.com. Lots of great pictures there and stories from the doctor's trip to Washington, D.C. And while you're there, you could also get the latest headlines. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, it's 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282, talking about this historic day, the handshake heard around the world from by Moon Jae-in of South Korea and Kim Jong-un. This is the lead-in to the big meeting with President Trump and Kim Jong-un. But can Un be trusted? Will the media give President Trump credit? I heard a spin earlier today that they're not giving him credit. This was a guest actually on CNN who said the credit goes to Kim Jong-un for sending his sister to the Olympics, the public relations offensive that we all witnessed there. And it is that led to negotiations with South Korea. They give President Trump zero credit, yet South Korea, as we speak, is telling Christiane Amanpour that they give all the credit to President Trump. Boy, she must be squirming. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the show, Angela Merkel is at the White House right now. Emmanuel Macron from France was there earlier in the week. When he came, he tried and convinced President Trump to honor the Iran deal. Merkel, her job while she's there is to try and convince Trump to honor the Iran deal as well. So should Trump side with our allies, France and Germany, and honor the Iran deal, or do what he said and get out of it? And Dr. Savage was there with President Trump this week. Do you think Dr. Savage was able to advance the agenda we all voted for with the president and the members of Congress? 855-400-SAVAGE. That and much more coming in. My name is Lou Pate. You are listening to The Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282.
It's the Savage Nation. My name is Lou Pate, and I'm in for Dr. Savage. He will be back on Monday. In the meantime, check out michaelsavage.com. If you missed the good doctor, well, there's a lot of great pics of him at the Capitol, in the Oval Office, and making his way around Washington, D.C. There's also stories there from his trip. You can see all of that while getting your headlines. 855-400-SAVAGE. Kim Jong-un shakes hands with Moon Jae-in, a historic day. I wonder if Americans are even paying attention to this. I see the media is trying to spin it in a way that is not favorable to Donald Trump. They do not want to give him credit, but I'd like to know from you, the listeners to the Savage Nation. Do you give President Trump the credit? And will Trump get credit if there is a denuclearized Korean peninsula? A lot going on. As far as Kim Jong-un, I don't trust him as far as I could throw him, but he's doing better. Just meeting with the South is something I think he knows he has to do. President Trump has leverage over him as far as, he needs President Trump more than President Trump needs him. But think about this. You don't often realize that you're a part of history as history is unfolding. Days like 9/11, you realize this is historic. And then the media beats the term historic to death, so it kind of loses its flair. Today is one of those days where we are witnessing history. But first you have to know your history, and many people don't realize that technically on paper we are still at war with Korea, okay? And this says a lot. Think about how many times the heads, and there's only been 3, the grandfather, the father, and now the son of North Korea, have been down to South Korea? Never. Okay, there's the action in the DMZ. We had that soldier from the north who fled to the south, and they shot at him. There's that crazy video of him running. He got shot 6 times. He survived. It's pretty amazing if you think about it. And I think this is going to be easier for President Trump than he even knows. Because I think I know Kim Jong-un. I really do. He is a murderous dictator. He has killed family members. He does kill anybody who is in opposition of him. That we know. He is a nepotism dictator. Quite frankly, I don't think he wanted to be a dictator. It's just he was born into it. He had no choice, or else they'll kill him too. I'm not saying he's a nice guy. He's not. He's a killer. But here's the thing. He is young. Okay? He has been around the world. He's had more money than any of us will ever know. He's never had to worry a day in his life, so he's been fortunate enough to be around the world. And he, as I said in the first segment, he likes Western culture. Okay? And now that he's the leader, he wants to be taken serious by the West. It's as simple as that. That is all it is. I said on the Savage Nation a year ago, if you invite him to the G21 summit, all of your problems are over. He will give you anything you want. This is what he wants. I can feel this in my gut. I mean, am I wrong? It's 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Or is this just something where it was a handshake, it was a photo? Is Trump being played by Kim Jong-un? I'll tell you what, Trump has he's made some powerful statements about not just Little Rocket Man and all of that kind of stuff on Twitter. When he threatened Guam, when he threatened Alaska, do you remember? The media was saying, the media was saying it was fiery rhetoric that was going to get us into a war. Well, the fiery rhetoric that Trump laid out there was defending you and I. When a hostile dictator is threatening an American property in the form of Guam and threatening a state in the form of Alaska, and our president defends us, that's what he is supposed to do. That's his job. This week, after all of the fiery rhetoric coming out of Iran, while Macron was in town at a press conference with Macron right to his right side, we talked about it the other day right here on the Savage Nation, he gave a strong warning to Iran. This is good. The world is watching. We want a strong president. We want a bold president. We want someone who talks tough. Okay, we want someone who defends us. We don't want someone, can we all just get along? We don't want that. Got Rodney King for that. Oh, he's gone. May he rest in peace. But you know what I mean. Can we all just get along? We can all just get along if the bullies of the world would stop trying to bully the rest of the world. And Trump is not going to put up with it. Obama put up with it too much. And in his words to Iran, in his words to North Korea, there's a message to Russia. There is a message to China, okay? And also within, if you think these world leaders don't talk, they do, all right? And their messages, their conversations just not leaked, like whoever's leaking Trump's conversations with world leaders around. But you think that after Xi Jinping met with Donald Trump and they had a nice conversation and forged a friendship, that when China's talking with Russia, that he doesn't tell Putin, take this guy serious? And I do think that Putin has a respect for Donald Trump. I don't think he respected Barack Obama at all. And believe me, he didn't command respect. He didn't demand respect, so why would he? I don't think he's not too happy with what Trump did in Syria, but he respects the move. I think Putin has a chip on his shoulder about losing the Cold War. He's never going to get over that. So while he's in leadership there, we can never be buddy buds like we are with other people. But he does respect Trump. Xi Jinping respects Trump. Abe in Japan respects Trump. These people didn't respect Obama. They might like him. Putin liked him because he could push him around. But they respect/fear what Trump might do, because they know it's not just rhetoric. He's not just shooting off his mouth. So let's get to the phones. 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Can North Korea be trusted in negotiating to get rid of their nukes? Will Trump get played? And if all goes well, will Trump get credit if there is a denuclearized Korean peninsula? Producer Jim and I were laughing before the show watching CNN squirm as South Korea gives the credit to President Trump. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to Gloria, WABC, my old stomping grounds. Not only did I live and grow up there, Gloria, I worked there. How are you?
Hi. I don't trust Kim Jong-un. If his equipment broke down and he can't fire his missiles, how come the United States didn't know about it?
Well, we did, but we didn't know the first day. Sometimes it takes they don't call it the Hermit Kingdom for anything, Gloria. It's the Hermit Kingdom for a reason. It is hard to get intel there, and the fact that we got it relatively quick was astonishing. Our credit to our alphabet soups of agencies there. So they got it. It wasn't instant. We're in the instant gratification society now. Sometimes these things take a few days.
The only reason why that guy is behaving, that nut job, the only reason why is because he's cornered. That's why he's acting civil. I don't trust him. I'm 77. Over the years, I've seen his father lie to the United States. It's not just Trump that's getting played, I believe, but it's a whole bunch of other ones before him. And his father was the same way. This guy's cornered. He's going to do anything. And he's a murderer. And you say he killed his own family. He'd probably eat his own family because he's crazy. All
right, well said, Gloria. Thank you for calling from WABC. We do appreciate it. Let's go to Dr. Savage's affiliate in San Francisco, Gene, KSFO. Welcome to the Savage Nation with Lou Pate. How are you?
I'm doing well today, thank you.
And how can I help you?
Well, I don't trust the leader of North Korea just because of his past behavior, but I believe this is Trump at his best, doing the art of the deal. I think he is not playing Kim Jong-un, but I think he is playing towards what he wants. What he wants most, what he desires most, is to be famous, and I believe maybe he's choosing to be famous by going the peaceful route instead of becoming infamous in bombing people with nukes.
And end up hanging from the end of a rope like Saddam Hussein and so many others.
Yes.
All right, Gene, well, very, very well said. Thank you very much. He's on me with the fame route. Like I said, part of the negotiations, get him front row tickets to the Oscars, and he'll love you. And I'm not kidding when I said that. Let's go to WFNC. George, welcome to the Savage Nation. How are you?
Yes, good afternoon. Lou, and first of all, I want to thank you for taking my call. And two, you probably don't remember, but during the time that Donald Trump was running, this black minister was in full support of Donald Trump. In fact, I designed a shirt for candidate Trump that is now hanging in Trump Tower.
Well, let me, George, that's very nice of you. I was unaware of that, but let me just say, it says here on my screen that you are a decorated 83-year-old vet, so let me give you a salute over the radio airwaves and commend you for your service, and thank you.
Lou Pate, I landed at Incheon in 1953 aboard the General SS Mig. The sky was lit up and I knew then as a young trooper that it was combat. They transported us up north, and I was assigned to the 7th Infantry Division, 15th ACAC.
Okay.
And the headquarters company, we had an observation post to spy on the Chinese. There were 2 white soldiers up there with me, and we slept on comma wire and C-ration boxes. They left the C-rations at the base of the hill, and every time one of us went down to use our entrenching tool, the military know what I'm talking about.
Right.
There was a prayer.
Well, let me just ask you this, George. I don't mean to cut you off, but we're short on time here. Do you trust Kim Jong-un, excuse me?
Yes, but I trust Donald Trump because he has the temerity and the gonads to move this thing in a positive way. I was on the MLR, the main line of resistance, on July 26th.
Wait, hold on. We don't have time to go back that far. And I apologize, but I do want to. I said thank you for your call and thank you for your service. Interesting, though, he says. I ask if he trusts Kim Jong-un. He says he has trust in President Trump. We'll continue with the conversation. We'll take a quick break. It's 855-400-SAVAGE. Remember, you can go to michaelsavage.com. Check out all the pictures of Dr. Savage. He'll be back on Monday, and he's actually adding to his list of stories that he touched on yesterday, and he'll continue that on Monday. In the meantime, all of your headlines, michaelsavage.com. Great pictures, great stories, and we'll be right back here on the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com.
Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel.
It's the Savage Nation. Lou Pate filling in for Dr. Savage. He will be back on Monday. And if you want to see a lot of great pictures and stories from his trip to Washington, D.C., check out michaelsavage.com. When you're getting all your latest headlines, you'll also be entertained by Dr. Savage's sojourn and his happenings through D.C., the Oval Office, the luncheon, the Capitol. He even met with Lindsey Graham. Funny stuff. Let's get back to the phones in reference to North Korea, but also Angela Merkel is at the White House right now. She is there to try to convince President Trump to remain in the Iran deal. Macron was there from France earlier in the week to do the same thing. What should Trump do? Should he honor our allies, or should he get out of what I think is a bad deal? I think it's a bad deal. And how would leaving the Iran deal affect our relationship with Europe, such as our allies as Merkel and Macron? In the meantime, let's get back to the phones, 855-400-SAVAGE. Do you trust North Korea, or is Trump getting played? Kathy, KVOR, Colorado Springs. How we doing, Kathy? Oh, okay, Kathy, if you hit a bad cell zone or something, give us a call. Let's go to Reno. Bill, KOH. How we doing, Bill?
I'm doing fine. I served at the Joint Security Area at Panmunjom. I was a military policeman there for a year and was toe-to-toe next to North Koreans. I've watched North Korean television. I slept there. I was there 24 hours, and then we were on QRF for another 24 hours, and then we had a day off. There were 3 platoons. And
okay, what did you take? What did you take from being so close? What vibe did you feel? What sense did you get from that?
Well, you know, you were always on the edge when you were there, and you knew that it could be, your life could be over. We did get hostile fire pay, $65 a month, which was the same amount at the time as combat pay.
But Bill, where does that leave you now as far as this historic day now moving forward? I mean, you were down in the trenches literally. I mean, which way do you think this is going to go? Your war might actually come to an end.
The South Koreans right now are being played because he says the war is over. As far as the North Koreans feel, the war is not over. They just want us out of South Korea. And Trump will try to be played, but I don't think he'll buy into it. But the South Koreans right now are being played, and all that matters to the North Koreans is to get us out of South Korea.
Yeah, but we're not going to get out based on one meeting. And how is the South? I'm not saying he's not trying to play them, but it's not like they've given anything up. So how are they being played, Bill?
By saying the war's over, and because they're going to still be on a war stance. You know, I mean, I knew that there was only an armistice signed. The war was still on since 1953.
Yeah, but I don't think just because he says the war is going to be over and they smiled and they held hands and they shook hands that they're just going to buy that. I don't think okay, fine, now we're going to remove our troops from the DMZ and all is well, and don't worry about it. We'll start sending tourists up there to start vacationing. I mean, Moon Jae-in is not stupid.
And the younger South Koreans, they don't understand what the older stuff.
No, because they didn't live through it. Just like our younger generations don't understand because they think nothing happened before they were born. That's one of the curses of youth. But Bill, thank you for your call. Do appreciate it. Lou Pate here with you. This is the Savage Nation. Dr. Savage will be back Monday. Go to michaelsavage.com. You got to check out. He's got a lot of great pics and stories from his trip to D.C. This is the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.